Oh, you can. Oh, you shouldn't be able to do that. Now then, we're in my van because we're off to pick up a scissor lift. A broken scissor lift. I'll make this make more sense. As you may or may not know, my old coach house, round corner, is situated in a very busy car park. When I last had scaffolding up, it took up loads of room and meant car parking spaces couldn't be used, making access difficult for everyone using the car park. And that's created quite a bit of pressure for me in the past. If I didn't get cracked on ASAP, I'd very quickly become public enemy number one. And I've still got loads of jobs to do at a height, and there's plenty of people who've commented, my ladder manoeuvres are a bit too much fun. And you are definitely at the mercy of people driving past. And not only that, the jobs I have coming up at round corner would almost be impossible to do off ladders. I've got the top of the gable end to insulate and clad, windows to put in, lots of pointing to do, no, not that sort of pointing the mortar in various places, and then all of this requires a space to work off. So, I have a solution to this, a broken scissor. Looks in a bit of a sorry state, doesn't it? As with most things that I buy, I found this scissor lift on eBay, and it was at Ainscow Metals. I ended up going to them directly, and I wanted to have a quick look at it first before definitely buying it. And Sam, the owner of this huge place, I think it's on a 10-acre site, and they've got loads and loads of buildings in pieces. I think they recycle metal, fabricate things, and it's a huge industrial spot. And you don't realise how big everything is that's there because it's in perspective, or it's in proportion rather. So this forklift, if you think that the scissor lift is over 2 tons, the forklift just lifts it up with ease, and it's massive because of the proportions of the place. You don't realise how big some of the equipment that they've got is. Anyway, so Sam showed me to the scissor lift. It was up on eBay for £1,800. I offered him $1,500 and we managed to meet at $1,600 because I explained it's a big risk for me to take, and yeah, we sorted that out, got it all loaded up, and I was asking an awful lot of my van. The scissor lift is 2 tons, the trailer will weigh a lot, maybe 3/4 of a ton, something like that, and then, you know, I've got a bit of stuff in my van, so I didn't quite, I really underestimated how heavy it was. And I set off. You could tell that it was going to be a real struggle. I didn't want to go over the tops, so I ended up going on the motorways instead, because I thought I'll get nestled in behind a wagon, steady away, just get across the M62 and up the A1. Nice journey, drink my flask of tea, happy days. And it didn't quite work out like that. There we go. As you'll see. One fully loaded scissor lift. Is good. Let's try and get it back home. Not good. Just had a blowout on the motorway. So I just need to figure out what to do. And I'm about 2.5 hours away from home, so that tyre looks okay-ish, but it just looks like it needs a load of air in it, so I might try and see if I can just get some air in it. And thankfully, this gentleman, whose business was called Express Tyres, and he's based in Warrington, he had a tyre for the trailer that I was borrowing off my brother-in-law, and he was willing to replace it. I just needed to take the wheel off and take the wheel to him, and he got it swapped round at his workshop, which I was very grateful for. The other problem that I had with this was I didn't have a jack for the trailer. I only had my van jack, and it's not designed to lift that much weight up. So I ended up shocking one of the wheels up with some wood, and then lifting it up that way. But at one point I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to lift this up. Fortunately, I had a piece of timber in the back of the van, and I could give it a helping hand, and managed to get the wheel back on. So once the wheel was back on, I was like, I'm not going on the M62 again because it was really dodgy. There was no hard shoulder, it was super busy, and I'm not going to say how I got off the motorway, but I got off the motorway and into this little cul-de-sac, a safe place. And I thought, right, I'm going to have to go back over the tops, but the reason I didn't want to go over the tops in the first place is because it's hilly and I had a load of weight on. But I thought, well, I'm much better off going steady away over the tops. If another tyre blows, at least I'm not stranded on the motorway. We're moving again, thank the bloody Lord. What a palaver. It's going to be a 3-hour drive instead of an hour and 40-minute drive, or a 2-hour drive back now, so off we went over the Pennines. And if you're not familiar with the Pennines, it's the English version of the Himalayas or the Rockies or the Swiss Alps or something like that. It's less aggressive and it's cuter. All the same, even though it looks more like hills and mountains, it's still got some pretty steep inclines. It's absolutely stunning to go through if you're not heavily laden with a scissor lift. It's still stunning to go through, but I had a bit of extra drama with the journey because it was slippy. It had been a dry spell, and then we'd had a bit of rain, which makes things extra greasy, and I had that to contend with. Some of the hills that I was going up, I was losing traction. I was having to slow right down and my wheels started spinning. The worst was coming out of Kettlewell. It's a really steep hill. I knew it was the worst of the whole journey back, and as I was going up there, I started going slower and slower. I was in first gear, and then I come to a stop. My foot's still on the accelerator, my wheels are spinning. And then I start going backwards. Oh dear, that's the worst scenario that you can have when you're heavily laden, is going backwards when you're trying to accelerate. My brake stunk, my clutch stunk, and I had to carefully try and reverse back down this hill after I'd slid down. I got to the bottom and I thought I'd just need to go up with a lot more momentum. I had a run up, and thankfully I made it to the top, and I was extremely relieved. I knew from there it was clear sailing. We were back in Yorkshire, and I'd had my little moment of going, why do you put yourself into these situations? You could have just bought a working one and got it delivered, but that would be pretty boring, wouldn't it? And I wouldn't have got to enjoy the rainbows, the welcome back into Yorkshire. But the welcome back home was pretty short-lived. Can you believe it? Eventually, I got the scissor lift back to Howard's house, where he could scoop it up with the telehandler and drop it down so we could work on it. And we got busy trying to figure out what was wrong, and it turned out the batteries weren't holding any charge. Fortunately, Howard had a couple of 12-volt batteries. We wired them up in series, and voila, we had lift-off. Oh. Yeah, go on. Sounds like it's quite flat, doesn't it? I wonder if the wheels and stuff are turning. Is that the wheels turning?
Yeah, try to go forward here. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So yeah. Left and right.
There you go.
Oh, get on. It's all working, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I've ordered the £600 worth of batteries and waited for them to come. Do not stack, for the love of God. But yeah, look, batteries. That's the stuff. Cracking job. So how good is that? All I had to do was change the batteries, charge it up, and I was quids in. Then I had a fully operational scissor lift, and I'd saved myself literally thousands of pounds. But there's a little bit more to this than meets the eye, as you'll soon find out. Going to give the scissor lift a fire up. So batteries are fitted, and this is whether it works or not. Oh! It's going better than it was with the other batteries, hasn't it? Beautifully. Oh, yeah. Great action. Doesn't all of that just seem too simple? Put batteries in and off we go. But no, the next day I went to pick it up. There was nothing, nada, not a wince. All you could hear was me crying. So we're back to the drawing board. What was wrong with it? The batteries definitely needed changing, but there was something else amiss. This is quite frustrating. The cherry picker isn't working. I've just checked everything over, and we all seem to have power everywhere in here. So goes to the key, fine. Stop switch is working fine. The fuse is fine. Our meter lights up, but I think it gets to the ECU, and then it's not working. So it could be the ECU. So I'm going to take this apart and see what's inside and see if I can see anything. It's this. Yeah. So power comes from the batteries, goes around to the other side, and then the battery cables go onto this, which powers the hydraulic, which is the engine really of the whole thing. It powers the hydraulic pump, and then the hydraulic pump then pumps round to all the different rams and things, the wheels, the motors on the wheels, and to turn it, to lift it up and down. And that is governed by all these cables which are kicking about. You put power onto it, you can go up and down from there, or you can control it from this box. So I think that the thing which controls all of that, the brain, has failed, because I'm getting power everywhere. Those have come out, but anyway, I think that's the problem. I think the ECU has failed. Even though I was pretty confident I needed to replace some parts, I decided to fix the relay and see if I could get it going again, see if I could get it back home, and you know, maybe put it into some sort of manufacturer's settings so it could recalibrate itself. I don't know. I was kind of flogging a dead horse, really. So we've got it working again, but I think that needs another one of these. Can you hear that? There's a funny squeaking coming from that. And another ECU. The relay, I've just repaired that temporarily under there, and I think we should be good to go there.
Oh, we have to get it back together.
We're in Howard's workshop, where he's got giant versions of everything. Huge axle stands and big things to undo this, which I definitely do not have. So we're going to try and straighten these wheels out, because they're leaning in, and it means that these bits don't flick out. So Howard's got a fancy sledgehammer, and I think the plan is to hit this at the bottom and try and bend it in. That's Howard. I got quite lucky that Howard was able to help. Normally he'd be farming, but it was actually quite a rainy day, so he was available to be able to help bash and shape this scissor lift. Now, as a farmer, Howard is a walking, talking Swiss Army knife, and unless you work on a massive farm or own a huge farm, you have to be able to do most things yourself. Depending on what job you're doing, you need to be able to put the right hat on. And the scope and the range of the things that you need to be able to do as a farmer are huge. 1 minute you could be giving birth to a lamb, the next you're figuring out the rules and regulations of what fertiliser to put onto your crops, or you could be putting land drains in, repairing buildings, repairing machinery, or you might be selling things, buying things at the right price with your business hat on. I really can't emphasise the range of skills that farmers need to have. A lot of people comment saying that I've got a lot of skills, which I would argue with. What I have got, and something that I've picked up on from people like Howard when I was younger, and from working on farms when I was younger, is the have a go attitude, and just to give it a crack. And I hope that comes across in my channel, and I hope it gives you the maybe the inspiration to give things a go. And I mean, I'm laughing a little bit because we're working on a scissor lift here, and neither of us are scissor lift technicians, and I suppose safety does come into play there. So I'm kind of giving that inspiration with a little bit of a disclaimer, as like, please don't do anything that's going to put you or anyone else in danger. But I hope that the can-do spirit comes across from this channel. I think one of the things that puts a lot of people off trying things for the first time is just looking like an idiot and getting it wrong. But I think if you can get over that, then you've absolutely cracked it, because, you know, if you don't try it, you don't learn out. Howard's hit that in. That's still bent in and needs to come out, otherwise the wheel's still going to be sat over. So he's devised a plan. Howard's plan, his cunning plan, was to use that hydraulic ram, which you can see on the right hand side there, push the ram out inside the scissor lift, and that would push on the metal and it would shape it back so that the wheels weren't leaning into the scissor lift, because when they're leaning in, those pothole guards don't fold out properly, they scrape on the floor, and it sets an alarm off and you're restricted to what you can do. Yeah, that looks way better.
Looks rest. Looks middle blowing out, jacking out now.
Yeah. So we've got the ram inside there now, and a couple of bits bolted on. The next part of Howard's plan was to weld in some struts, bracing it underneath, so it would be better than the manufacturers made it. So it would be stronger and more resilient to bending like it has done before.
Ah,
What's up?
red paint on the magnet. Where that's come from? Max.
Everything was going back together beautifully until yours truly managed to lose a nut on the ground somewhere and kick it around until I couldn't find it.
It's come out yet?
We eventually used something else, and then it was back to investigating why it was running so slowly. Just opened this box up and it does not look good. It's quite corroded in there and there's a lot of gunk on it, so I'm going to try and get that off and see if I can dry it out. Christ.
It sounds like it's struggling a bit, isn't it?
It didn't help.
Yeah, closer.
Strange. Is it something to do with the control?
Potentially. It's not got any power at all. I can't even get over this little ledge there, so I've ordered the bits, which will hopefully come in a couple of weeks. Full throttle and it's not doing anything. Whilst I was waiting for the parts to come, I had a couple of jobs to do, give the van a little bit of TLC. My first time doing this, I just wanted to get some of the rusty parts covered up before it starts getting cold and the roads are getting gritted. Well, what are going on? Sanded all down prep, it really is about the prep. But crikey Moses, just getting all the sheeting on in the wind has been a right palaver. So God knows how it's going to all turn out anyway. Oh, okay, that is it, painted. There's a few runs up there, so I'll have to sand them out. But overall, it's gone pretty badly. It's alright, but it's just started spitting. So I'm going to try and get it back together and get it parked under a bridge somewhere, and hopefully it's alright. It's quite tacky at the moment. There's another run there. Oh, and you can just see all the raindrops that have just been hitting it. Not good. Not good at all. So yeah, just need to get the lights and sides and everything back on, and then get it under a bridge before it starts chucking it down, because you're meant to keep it dry for 24 hours. Bye van! Check it all! We have got one controller. Beast! Look at that! And the ECM, which is smaller. That's okay. Okay, this is the moment of truth. ECM, whatever it's called, electric box thing changed. We've got some lights on there. Ooh, looks very technical. And then if we put it onto the down thing. Oh yeah! Straight off the bat moving. Oof, she sounds powerful. Now then, does it work up here? Oh, that seems faster. That's good. Right, now then, let's put it onto the right mode. Do we move at a decent pace? Oh, we're flying! Oh, yeah! And we're in slow mode as well. We're in slow mode! Let's turn slow mode off. I'm bracing myself. Oh my god! It's fantastic. Now we're off up. Let's see a bit of Yorkshire. A bit of Yorkshire! Oh, it's rocking a bit. Oh, you can. Oh, you shouldn't be able to do that. Oh, you got you can. No. let's go down. We're about 10 metres up in the air. That's a success, isn't it? Another controller, another electric box, and it's capped it. Who knew? Right, hopefully I've been shot here. So I'm going to go over the costs of everything. Okay, I'll try it again, but with focus working this time. So I wanted to talk about money and how much all this has cost and how much a decent one would be, a decent second-hand one. So a decent second-hand scissor lift would be about £4,500, like this one here, and that's kind of thereabouts. That's the cheapest one I could find, and it would have pushed my bank to its limits. I'd have had to sort of borrow a bit more and all that jazz. So this was a good thing because it cost £1,600. You might have been keeping a tally. And I've spent £600 on the batteries. I spent £360 on the controller and the ECU. Then £110 on an emergency stop cable which had snapped, and that's to let the hydraulic ram down when it's in the air and the electrics fail. So a good thing to buy. And then also some sensors as well. I bought like a 110 transformer, but I can't really count that. I hate 110 transformers. I just think get something batteries, or if you've got an RCD, it's not really going. It's just going to trip the RCD. Anyhow, that's by the by. In total, I spent about £2,670. That doesn't include mine or Howard's time, and it doesn't include the pop tyres, using Howard's trailer, all that sort of jazz, all the fuel. It'd be more, but let's keep it lower because that looks better and it makes me feel better. It's a saving of £1,830, but the big but is that if I'd have bought this £4,500 second-hand machine, I wouldn't know where I am with it. I know where I am with this. I kind of know its vices and its imperfections, and I know that it's got some good batteries now. I know that the controller's good. I know the ECU's good. The new machine, I may have needed to do all that, so that would have been on top of the £4,500. You don't know. I always question why people are selling things. I'd definitely be quite vigilant with making sure that they're getting rid of the machine for the right reasons. And the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about was TikTok. So, some cheeky monkey, which is a nice term, has been taking videos that I've spent a lot of time making and putting them onto TikTok in a weird squished up format, and that's a really odd thing to do, and TikTok aren't bothered. And they've gathered, say, I think one of the accounts, there's a few accounts, maybe different people, maybe the same person, I don't know, and they've all got my profile picture, and yeah, one of the accounts has got 10,000 followers, and I can kind of deal with them nicking all of my videos and stuff like that to a certain extent. But the thing that's really bugged me is that they've posted a few videos. Those views are not mine. Please don't think it is me if you are following that TikTok account. It's not me. And yeah, I'm trying to get in touch with TikTok, but they don't seem that bothered. So yeah. My other option is to actually make a credible TikTok account, but obviously that takes more time. I've got to do vertical format videos, and I prefer to just get cracked on here and share it with you. Anyhow, I just needed to say that. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking really forward to giving this a whirl. The next few videos we're going to be seeing this in action, and you've had a sneak peek of it when going up of what's already been done. So yeah, I'll see you then. Ciao for now.